In 2011, researcher Daryl Bem at Cornell University conducted a groundbreaking series of 9 experiments involving over 1,000 participants. His goal? To explore whether humans could actually see the future. Across these 9 experiments, the average effect size was small, 0.22, but statistically significant, with all but one of the 9 yielding reliable findings. We're going to look at the retroactive priming experiments.
To understand the impact of Bem's work, we first need to look at what his experiments were based on.
Bem's research model was built on a priming study that used a computer, a standardized set of images, a list of approved words, and test subjects. The original priming study worked like so. Participants would sit in front of a computer which would randomly display an image. Following the image, the computer would show 2 words, and the subject had to pick the word they thought best matched the image. The computer recorded both their choice and the time it took to make the decision. For example, if an image of the sun appeared, the subject might be shown 2 words, hot and cold. The subject would then choose one of the words and the response time was recorded. There were 2 groups in this study, a control group which ran the experiment as described, and a second group which was exposed to what's called a primer. In this primer group, before the image appeared, the computer would flash either of the 2 words for just a single frame, 1/30th of a second. The fascinating finding was that even though the subjects couldn't consciously detect the primer word, it still influenced their choice and response time. For instance, if cold flashes just before the image of the sun, they would delay their selection of hot. If hot flashes, they chose hot more quickly.
This was the model used by Daryl Bem, except he changed just one tiny little thing. He took the primer word that was flashed before the image and moved it to the end of the experiment, after the participants had already made their choice.
In a materialist paradigm where time flows in one direction, this simply should not have worked. How could a word shown after the choice had been made influence their earlier decision? Much like in the delayed choice variation of the double slit experiment, astonishingly, it did. Just like in the original priming study, participants who were shown a primer after making their choice demonstrated the exact same patterns of delayed or accelerated decision-making. The implication? A future event, the flashing of the word, had somehow influenced the participants' decision in the past. As you might imagine, these findings were met with significant skepticism. The idea that a future event could influence a decision made in the present or past was nothing short of revolutionary. Critics tried to poke holes in the experiment's methodology, but no serious flaws could be found.
But this was just one experiment, right? Wrong. Bem's work did not stand alone.
In a meta-analysis of 90 experiments conducted across 33 laboratories in 14 countries, researchers found consistent evidence of precognition. The combined results yielded an effect size of 0.09 with statistical significance greater than 6 sigma. I had to look this up, but in layman's terms, this was definitive proof that humans have precognitive abilities. Now, how could this even be possible? Can humans really have superpowers? Or, as quantum theory and countless experiments are showing us, time and space are indeed an illusion. And the underlying framework of whatever reality is what allows for these phenomena to manifest.
Whoa.
If we refer to the delayed choice double slit experiment, it shows that quantum information exists outside the influence of both space and time. And if our brains are indeed room temperature quantum computers, then it's possible we have access to any information now that we will eventually observe in the future.